ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Neighborish Livecast. I'm Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, and with me, as always, are some of the coolest people I know, the Neighborish crew, starting with our feminine energy, the fitness trainer, meal prep chef, and fitness guru, Miss Patrice Fruitfit Jones. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good. I see our other hosts coming in.
All
And
right.
my man 100 grand. He don't like when I say the life of the party, but definitely is. He one of them dudes. Just Mike, what's up, brother?
It's good to be here with y'all.
Definitely,
Sincerely.
definitely. And coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
The fun size vessel of Black Girl Magic with the velvety smooth voice.
Hello, David.
Miss Aisha Green, how are you?
I'm great.
That's good, man. That's good, man. And we have a great show for you today because our guest today is somebody who's a staple in the DC music scene. And he's become known over time as arguably one of the best freestylers in the DMV, probably on the East Coast. I'm gonna go that far. I'm gonna give it to him. But over time, he's also become known for his philanthropy, his generous spirit, and his charitable movements that he's done. Things like you've seen the shirts, the Santa Claus movement. It's been all over the DMV. That's raised thousands and thousands of dollars for Safe Shores DC, which is an organization that supports and advocates for children who are victims of domestic violence and trauma. It's great to have this brother here. Welcome, the one and only Mo Betta. What's up, man?
Hey, man, that was a lot, man.
And that wasn't even, look, I always say people say that, but that's not even all you do, man. Like, I ain't even talking about like the hashtag help DMV with the Cash App, just giving to people and things like that, man. So we got a lot to talk about because you do a lot, man. And, you know, like I always tell people, one of the reasons I do this show is just to get people on here that I admire and look up to and let them know how dope they are, man. It's about giving people their flowers. So welcome. Yeah, definitely. But before we get into that, there's a couple of things going on in the city, in the country, in the world, and we're going to talk about briefly. I want to start with Mike was talking to me about a news story that he saw. You said the guy's name was
so
Dale Lee, right?
Yeah, exactly. Dave and I was discussing topics for the show. What are we going to talk about?
Right.
Liddell Lee. Anybody heard of him?
Haven't heard that name.
Anybody?
Well, I heard it when you told me about it, but
so about 4 years ago, he was put to death. And here we are now, 4 years later, where they found some DNA where it exonerates him. And we're pushing towards, you know, trying to do some type of reform in our world, in our country. But is it really? Ultimately, this man's been dead for 4 years. His last words were, "I'm an innocent man." I mean, how much are we taking care of our people? Are we looking after them? I don't think so.
And we also were talking about like just in cases like this, you know, there's been an ongoing debate for years about the validity or the necessity for the death penalty. And I mean, you know, people go back and forth. Me personally, I feel like it's necessary in certain situations. But that's just my opinion. It's like some people probably, you know, some of the things they do and the decisions they make put them in a position where, you know, maybe they shouldn't be here. But then it brings up the question of like who is fit to make that decision. So I don't know if you guys have opinions. I'm gonna just go around. I'm gonna start with the ladies. Isha, you know, the death penalty, and you know, especially in situations like this where the guy was, you know, convicted of a crime. They felt they had the right dude. They killed him. You know, they basically murdered him, you know, and then
4 years ago.
4 years later, they found some DNA evidence that's
no, sir. They didn't find it. It was there before he was murdered.
Okay.
And they refused to look into it. It was forgive me for not being totally knowledgeable of the whole thing, but ultimately, that's my word, fuck you, Dave. They were in a rush to get rid of this medicine. they were in a hurry because medicine has an expiration date.
Right.
In that, 3 or 4 individuals were exonerated. One was, not even exonerated. They were put on, on a step docket. They were postponed. But this
Okay.
individual who was said to have killed his, I believe his neighbor,
Okay.
he said from day one, I'm innocent. And he asked and pleaded for some type of
Clemency.
solution. Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am. And in that, he's dead. 4 years later, the same evidence you had then, you reanalyze now, and you tell me that he's not guilty, and you killed him outside of incarcerating him for however many years, outside of having a family who lost somebody, believe that this individual killed them, give them some type of bullshit, false ass, fake ass closure that is not true, that is no more, and now he's not guilty, bro. You killed him and you're not guilty. How do you reconcile that?
Right. So my opinion, just in general about the death penalty, I am against the death penalty. I don't think that as a whole, you know what I mean? For most instances, I don't prison as a whole in America, I feel it's designed for the advanced enslavement of us. You know what I mean? Like it is designed specifically catered to and promoted against Black people. So the idea of the death penalty there, it's for us. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, as a whole, I'm not a big proponent of the death penalty, just in general. No.
Yeah. Okay, Patrice.
Mm-hmm. I can't say whether I support it one way or the other. I mean, it's just, my answer is always, it's just part of a systemic structure. And we can't start talking about the death penalty until we start talking about revamping the system as a whole and starting at the core. So by the time you get to the death penalty, if you really examine the system, a lot of cases would have been, cut off right at the beginning. You wouldn't even have got to the death penalty. So we have to really start, examining this core of the system. But to be honest with you, that's not happen. We've been talking about this for 45, 50 years. It's not going to happen because of what and the second thing is, you all remember last show, I said, watch, something else is going to come up to trigger your emotions that happened years ago. I saw this story actually. I didn't know the gentleman's name, but I saw it. And when I saw it, as a matter of fact, I thought I sent it to you, Dave. Maybe I didn't. And I was just like, here we go. Every time something else ends, they put something else in the media to trigger us emotionally again, to get us distracted from things that we should be focused on. So that's my opinion. That's it.
Right, like this conversation about the whole vote or whatever, like that. They've been super low about that, but
right, yeah, voter suppression and all of that. So, hey, sorry to throw you into the middle of the conversation, Mo, but do you have an opinion?
Hey, I'm Black, man. I got an opinion on everything. Let's get it.
Yeah.
So two things, right? I grew up Christian and very much believe what's in the book, and it's crazy how you'll give this person the last word, the last meal. You grabbing things from out the Bible, right? But then you overlooking where it says thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say thou shalt not kill unless someone killed your folk. You know what I'm saying? And then also the contradiction that the prison system is. It's supposed to be about rehabilitation, right? So to put someone to death is to say that we don't even believe that our system can work. That's to say, hey, there's some people that's gonna come through that we can't rehabilitate. So like that in itself just doesn't make sense. It's a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't feel like you can make a person better. And as Aisha said, it does seem like it's for us, because you gotta think some of the worst people in American history that are white that have committed crazy crime, they still alive. Ted Kaczynski is alive.
And celebrate.
Is the Unabomber. Like these people are still alive. You understand what I'm saying? So
and celebrate, like Mr. Patrice said. That's right.
So who's to say whose life is more valuable because it was taken that somebody should have been murdered? Or is it because a black man killed or is accused of killing a white person? Or when his white person does this to some other white people? Like that insurrection on January 6th, those people were, Congress was in session.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
we not value our congressmen? Like they're up there as far as people, right? So we put their whole lives in jeopardy while they were voting on something for the country.
Yeah.
And those people some of them got slaps on the wrist. They're gonna get a few years. Or how is it that white collar crimes, or as they're deemed white collar crimes, even though they done stole billions of dollars on Wall Street, these folks get 2-3 years and may have gotten a pardon later because it was a nonviolent offense. Well, selling drugs is a nonviolent offense as well.
Yeah.
And even though I don't smoke and I'm not campaigning for drugs, at the end of the day, you turn around and make something legal, but it was such a big deal to lock these people up for however amount of time. In Oregon, just recently, as the end of last year, they done made it legal for recreational use. People can do heroin and meth outside in the park.
Wow.
We're not talking weed no more, like heroin.
Yeah, not all. Yeah, all. So, everything, cocaine, everything.
So the system, I love the lines that Mike Son said in this Funk Flex freestyle. See, you don't understand. We was 3/5 of a man. So when they ended slavery, they had another plan. We can't end slavery. It's too many residuals. So we don't call them slaves no more. We call them criminals.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean,
that's real. Yeah, it's
but your flow. I want to hear your flow.
Man, I'm retired, bro.
Are you officially retired? I was gonna ask you about that.
No. It's something in there, because you held on to that. You know
hey, listen. When I tell you I'm retired, I actually, as your brother there, Super Dave, Mr. Incredible, as I know him, I actually just did Joe Claire's beat battle challenge recently, and I did it because I saw his. And I was like, wow, somebody's actually putting effort into lyricism. And it kind of brought that back to me, because I'm going to be honest with you. I probably haven't listened to rap since the 2009 class in the music industry.
Right.
I don't enjoy rap anymore. Like, I may be Joe Budden. I got to the point where when you're good at something, you can't just settle for it. I feel like when people listen to music now, they grading on the curve.
Yeah.
This is good for what the times are, but it ain't good in comparison to whatever else. So
it's always that that caveat there. Oh, this is good for what they trying to do, or this is good but it ain't just good. Like, hey, but I really want you to I just did the Red Man 80 bar challenge.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, man. I want you to jump in there, man. We'll talk about it though. That's something.
I mean, I might. I got time. You know, I'm sitting in the house, quarantining. It ain't like I ain't got nothing to do. But no, it's for the ability to freestyle. My wife gets mad when I say I can't do it anymore, or I'm not as good as I once was. Because see, the thing is, people will hear me rap and be like, "Oh man, you better than 85%." I'm not. How Jay-Z said, like, I don't base what I am off of what other people are. Right. I can't rap how I used to rap. So it makes me not want to do it. If I can't do something at the best of my ability, I tend not to want to do it.
So you feel like you're losing a step?
I lost. I walked down a half a flight already, man.
Come on, man. I don't know, man. I've heard you flow. I've seen some of the ciphers, but
I was washed in those again. Everyone else just wasn't good. It ain't had nothing to do with me.
Shots, nah, but yeah, man. Because I wanted to ask you, and we might as well jump into it. About the
my email battles. To myself.
Oh no, not even that. We're gonna talk about that too. But about didn't you have a hand in starting like the freestyle battles in DC, like to the level that they got?
I probably sprungboard 2 different situations unintentionally. I remember there was the first annual DMV Awards, and they had it at Club Onyx on Southern Avenue, and I was standing outside getting some fresh air, and I remember somebody that just lived across the street in the apartment was going to the corner store or something. And he was like, yo, what's going on there? I was like, we got a local award show. Oh, rap getting like that in this? Yeah. Well, I rap. Oh, yeah. I mean, I battle rap. This is what he said. I said, ironic. I said, I battle rap too. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty good at it. So we start battling, and Dre All Day in the Paint happened to come outside. and was like, Mo, I've seen you freestyle before. I never saw you battle. So that started Dre to having tournaments for money at his shows. And then a few years later, there was a guy named Paradox, and they were starting a league called Grind Time DMV. There was a New York version already that had some of the rappers that blew up and went to the Smack URL League, the Hollow the Dons, DNAs. And the guy said, yeah, we want to start this league here. And everybody I asked about freestyling and battling, he's like, your name comes up. He said, other names come up too, but yours always comes up. I was like, yeah, man, I used to, you know, I was pretty serious at one point. So he was like, so I need you. I was like, bro, I don't battle no more, right? And this might have been 10 years ago. I started so long ago that, so he would just show up at every open mic. He'd be at Pure, he'd be at Live, at the Up and Up, he'd be at Bohemian Camera, like everywhere I went, he was there. And he was like, man, so he seen me, and I believe it was Proverb, and we were like sparring outside, joking around 2 bars at a time. He was like, I thought you said you couldn't battle no more. I was like, whoa, never said couldn't. I said I don't. You know what I'm saying? So he talked me into it because I believe he thought he wasn't going to be able to get anyone else without me, or it made it easier with me. So with me joining, you got the Proverbs and the Ty Laws, and you know, and then after that league came and went, and since then it's like maybe 5 battle leagues now. So maybe not directly, but you know, like I made battling fun. Like it wasn't what it was in New York. You couldn't just catch a cipher on the corner here, or you know what I'm saying? Like you go to Philly, a 13-year-old might run up on you on the elevator and just start going. You know what I'm saying? It's different here. So man, I had some influence on it.
Yeah, I know you was there around the inception, and like at that time, I was putting out work, and I would see your name a lot and stuff, and I'm like, you know, but I always want to know like how instrumental you were in that whole process.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that though? Because I never put out a project, right? People never understood that it made no sense for me. Because Mo, when you put out a project, I said when y'all stop letting me battle or making me battle, everywhere I go, hey Mo, freestyle, Mo battle. When your mind is in that mode, it stays there 24/7. Like I'm thinking of punchlines in my sleep. So if I'd have wrote a song, it sounded like a diss track. You know. So it's funny that Super Sid put out his top 30 all time.
I was about to ask you about that because you said you never put out Are you sure you never put out a project? I feel like I seen something with your name on it.
Okay, so one year I released a freestyle every day, and it was a series called No Features, but like it's not a album or a CD.
Okay.
So, and I mean, these is industry beats I'm rapping over. But what happened was, Sid put me on his list.
The top
at number
30,
27.
27. Yeah.
Now, the thing is, some people were mad I was so far down, and some people were like, how is he even on it? Now, the person that was wondering why I wasn't on it, the irony in that is I have a outside street battle where that same person is standing behind me hyping me as I'm freestyling, and they actually threw an event some years later and I won, and I went in there playing around. But I understand why you would question why I'm on a list. I don't have that project for you to go to and be like, hey, look, this is what he did. But I also think that's the same reason I belong on a list, because my name is known for rap and having bars. And that's all word of mouth. Word of mouth promotion is it can hype you though if you do good. Because word of mouth, I had people like, yo, I seen Mo battle. He levitated in the air. And while he was up there, he dissed everyone in the city. And, you know what I'm saying? They own stuff too. Right. I could have had a 50-point game, but they'll tell it like I was Kobe for 81. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I did my thing, man. But I never really wanted rap. Like I could never see me in the music industry as a rapper. My moral compass is too much for the music industry, man. I wouldn't have, like, I don't smoke, I don't drink. Sometimes being in the studio is uncomfortable, or I'm not going to give you this song because you believe I should write this song because that's the image you want to portray. Like I've been around street things and I tend not to even speak on them. Because why? You know what I'm saying? You don't get diplomatic immunity from rap. You know what I'm saying? So I never wanted it. Like maybe ghostwriting, but
that job is where you are now, though, right? With a philanthropy.
You said what?
It speaks to where you are now. with the philanthropy.
Yeah, you spoke about your morals and your values, and like I said in the intro, you know, you become known for your philanthropy, your giving spirit, and things like that. So I want to talk a little bit about where that came from and how that started in you. Like, so who is the most giving person you've ever met or you know in your life?
I don't think I was inspired by anybody from them giving. I mean, like, there's giving people in my life. I'd probably say my grandmother, just because she let all my cousins come live with her when we acted up at our parents' house. Or, you know, like, she owned houses. So there's like houses in the wheels for the older cousins, and land in West Virginia from her family left down her. Like, she did things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we needed money for things, like, you know what I'm saying? She just did. She was the grandmother, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The parents, like, hey, stop spoiling the kids. She was that. But as far as like philanthropy, I don't really feel like I've seen it. The person that probably gives the most, that now that I've lived life, is my wife. Like, I met the absolute perfect person, because we give in different manners. Like, she had a friend that was making baked goods. My wife was in the middle of a diet, and just because her friend was selling it, she had to buy them. I was like, we give differently. I'd have bought them and gave them away. I'd have bought them for somebody else. She bought them, like, no, I have to vouch for it and say that they're good. And I'm like, man, look, if you want to quit the diet, just say you want to quit the diet. You know what I'm saying? Right. But she's that. Like, I won some money at the casino one time, give her some money. I turned around and looked at a person I didn't even know she knew. I seen a GoFundMe for somebody I knew that needed help with something. I go to donate. She done put the money I gave her in the GoFundMe, man. You know what I'm saying? So she's definitely the most giving person I know. But what I guess started me was kind of, I ain't had no choice. When I was in high school, I used to get suspended a lot. I was bored out of my wit. Had straight A's, and the work just, it didn't occupy my time. So I stayed suspended, right? So my mother,
what high school?
Parkdale. I ended up at Tall Oaks because I was that bad.
I seen DeMar Johnson.
Yeah. So DJ left Parkdale.
Excuse me, DJ.
Yeah, so DJ left Parkdale the year before I got there, but my older sister was there with him. You know what I'm saying? And DJ, like, I grew up in New Carrollton, so DJ's down the street in Riverdale. His little brother Bobo played basketball with us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I knew DJ from just neighborhood dealings and things. So what happens is, me being suspended, my mother wasn't going to let me just sit in the house while she was at work and play video games all day. So she sent me to work with my father. She's thinking this is punishment. My father does roofing. The thing is, my father, the company he worked for, I'm really helping them out. And they appreciate, like, I'm running up and down the ladder getting stuff they left in the truck, or I'm cleaning up the grounds. It's things they don't want.
Work. That's the grunt work.
So I'm 15 years old, 14, 15, 16 years old, and I'm getting $100 a day. I'm suspended for 10 days.
That's good money.
I got $1,000 now, right? Like, now I'm getting suspended on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be times I go back to school with two stacks, 3 stacks, but my mother, I can't buy nothing and bring it in the house because she doesn't know I'm getting paid. And not only am I getting paid, but my father's still buying me lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not spending a dime. So I have 2 options. I can have the flyest closet in the world that I see once a month in my grandmother's house. Now, keep in mind, I told you I have 4 male cousins that live there. So that ain't really bright. You know what I'm saying? Because I would never see the clothes. Or I could do whatever for everybody at school. So Domino's used to come to our school and sell slices of pizza at the end of the day. I'd buy 5 boxes and just give it to people. I'd buy every girl I thought was cute Rice Krispie treats out the vending machine. My whole neighborhood ate pizza from the a la carte line. I never had school lunch a day in my life. I had to use the money. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a feeling that comes with giving that I was told is my high. I don't smoke or drink. That's how I get high. So if I'm feeling down, at my lowest point, I probably give the most. For example, last December, the end of 2020, I think it was December 29th, I posted my bank statement. I had $29. Right? I have a friend of mine that started a hashtag. It says broke on purpose. And I said, bro, I don't even think you know what you did. Like, I don't have to be broke. Like, I be winning at the casino. I got a job. I've been there for 17 years. Like, I don't have to be broke, right? So I had $29, and I seen Portia from Beach of Feet Kings, who has cancer now. She was raising money because she knew she was gonna be out of work. And to me, that was more important than anything I had going on. So I sent her 20 of the 29, go fund me, take their fee. I had $6 left.
Right.
The stimulus check from the last one from Trump, $600 one came 2 days later. And I wasn't tripping like, we got groceries, like we good. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife work, I work, I got another paycheck coming. Grocery store had already happened, like we straight. So I took the stimulus check and I might have wanted the casino every day for the next 2 weeks. Every day.
I was going to ask you, do you
300.
think it's, my bad. I was going to ask you, do you think it's, because, people talk about karma and how things
come. Because of what I'm doing with it. Of course.
Exactly.
Of course. Like people ask me all the time, what you playing? It don't matter. Hey, I want to go with you. Why? Ain't nothing gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's what I'm about to do with it. And then I've had people say, you saying that like God blessing you, that ain't no religious place. I say, Slim, when they say God works in mysterious ways, I believe that. He gave me another route to go than selling drugs. Because I said when I married my wife, because I got a wife and kid now, I'd never go back to. I've sold drugs before. I'd never do it again. It'll never happen. So I flipped that $600 stimulus check into $5,000.
How you flip something and you gamble it? That's not flipping.
I don't gamble.
Flipping.
You ain't hear me. You ain't hear me though. I don't gamble.
You went to the casino.
I never gambled a day in my life. Ain't no gamble. I'm supposed to win. I'm a win.
Hey.
I'm going to win.
It's a gospel
song that say everything
and your money can't.
Huh?
You went to the casino and your revenue came from the casino.
My revenue came from the stimulus check, but yeah. I understand what you're saying. I just need you to understand what I'm saying.
Right.
I want to wrap my mind around the ability to have that much faith in something I can't see, feel, or touch. And I
have that much
like
faith
a
in
pool
God.
game. If we shot pool, that's in my control. I feel like if I shoot free throws, that's all in my control. But like the pull of a knob and or the deal of a hand, that's not in my control, I don't think.
Hey, but you just said something you can't feel or touch or use your senses, right? I can't feel or touch God. I got that much faith in him. I'm doing something with the slot machine. I am touching it. I'm touching it.
That's, and the fact that you're taking that money and you're doing something, I believe in karma. You putting that money. If you were doing like strippers and hookers and brothels and shit, like me,
I
no.
feel you.
But no,
but
I'm
listen,
saying like you doing something positive. And that karma is awesome.
Like I do feel like I'm doing something different than everybody else on the
that karma is awesome.
Yeah.
Even on the slot machine, though, I am doing something different than other people. Like I can't teach you how to do math in your head on the fly. I can't tell you, hey, press the button and let it spin out on its own. But the next 3 times, press the button and then you stop it on your own. Like I'm probably one of the few people that stop the machine when it's spinning. Most people let it spin out on its own. But my thing is, their algorithm isn't set for me to win. It ain't set for anybody to win. So I'm altering it. So I'm doing different things. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing with a lot more money than most people. I'm playing on a different level. I'm affecting the machine. I'm definitely affecting the machine. But also,
let me interject real quick. So another thing we have to know, like, I understand where you coming from, Mo. Like, can I call you Mo? Okay.
What else you gonna call?
I'm not like before the Mo Betta, even with rap, Maurice is gonna get shortened to Mo regardless.
Anyway,
I've been Mo my whole life.
Right.
And so we have to understand the transference of energy, and that the machines they work on a vibration and a frequency. So when you come that and you're like, it's like talking to your water. And like a lot of people don't know, you can program your water by the vibrations of your voice and the words that you speak. So when you walk into a room, on your case, a casino, and you like, I own the room, I know what I came in here to do. I'm gonna walk away so I can help more people. Then you speak that and you do that and you feel that. that vibration, that machine, it
The
just
slot machine is an ATM. I go in there, I put my card in, and I take the money out. It just is what it is. And also, I'm making them do what they claimed they was going to do when they were being voted on, even being bought here. You know, when you voting on a casino coming to your area, they make all these promises. We're going to do this for the schools. We're going to do this for the community.
I just talked about that recently.
I'm making them people make good on their word. They owe me. I'm making them look good. They doing what they said they would do. That's what's happening. 100%. But yeah, man. But on the flip side, with my parents, though, as far as giving, my mother had me in church. So from that standpoint of the Bible saying God loves a cheerful giver and it's better to give and to receive, like those things are embedded in my mind. And then with my father, he didn't necessarily give back per se in the conventional, oh, I'm gonna go do a charity event. But I just realized last year when everybody was so hell-bent on saying support Black business, even though it's what a lot of people were already doing, that's what he did. My father never, and I mean never, now that I think about it, ever took me to McDonald's, Popeyes, Wendy's, none of that. My father is the type that will go to Eastern Market for whatever, or Stadium Armory on Saturday, or he'd pull over when he seen a rib truck on the side of the road. My father always bought food from some small Black business. You know what I'm saying? So when I do it's what I was taught. Right. Subconsciously, because it's all I saw. So, you know what I'm saying? For the money situation, it was out of necessity in school. The religious aspect came from my mother. The supporting your mans and them came from my father. There was one time we were doing a roof and a guy asked them for some change. And my father just looked at the stature and the size of this guy. He was like, do you want to earn some real money? That guy ended up working with us for the next 3 days. He worked out for the rest of that, for like wherever we was in that side of town. He worked out so well, they kept him. That dude worked with them for like 5 years. Yeah. But what happened that first night, because they had to make sure they knew where he was to have him, you know what I'm saying, continue working. I came home from an open mic. It's midnight. The front door to my house is wide open. My father isn't sleeping in the bedroom. He's sleeping on the couch in the living room, right on the other side of the door. The guy that they asked did he want to work is sleeping on our porch. Little wicker set like this. It's nice, it's soft, it's comfortable. We got it covered. My father left the door open in case cuz had to go use the bathroom. Absolute stranger sleeping on our porch. To have that type of trust in people, that's what happens with me. Like I'll have people say, Mo, you know, people are going to try to get over. For example, with the Help DMV, I had people lie a lot of times about their situation thinking that I'm just going to send them money. They don't know the process that I call and pay the bills myself and I ask a series of questions and I verify stuff, but the trust just came with me. I know that there's people like that messed up in the world that'll lie and try to finesse. But my thing is, I'd rather 2 people get over on me and me genuinely help the 8 people that needed my help than to adjust myself to them 2 people and be like, you know what, everybody trying to get over. I ain't helping nobody. And then I ain't help the ones that really needed it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I let, like he said, I believe in karma too. I let God deal with them. That ain't on me.
Yeah, that's yeah, we were just talking about Mike and I were just talking about how people get jaded after a while. You know, you start to deal with people that act a certain way and you start to get that feeling, like you said, like, oh, everybody's like that, and that makes some people shut down and stuff. But it's dope.
But God always gives me a scenario where somebody restores my faith in humanity every time it gets low. Somebody just do like the realest thing you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Like my last raffle winner, right? The story came so full circle, it was crazy. So a rapper, and you know I love when the rappers give back. He found out about the Help DMV raffles that I was doing to fundraise. He gave, you know, whatever the raffle was. If it was a $5 raffle, $2, $1, he gave that amount. So it was one time, I guess he came up with some coins and he sent 40. It was a $1 raffle. So he got 40 entries in the raffle, right? Yeah. And so he won. And I was so excited because it was a rapper that won. But he was DMing me and he was telling me, he was like, Mo, I don't even know if you remember, but I was performing at a showcase and it was at Sports Zone in Georgetown. And he was like, you was making a joke about you know, because I had dreadlocks and I wasn't gonna be able to rap or whatever. He's like, and I did my thing and I won. And you gave away some shoes. Like I said, I was gonna buy shoes for whoever spit the best bars, right? I was gonna go downstairs and buy them whatever they wanted. So he won, but he didn't want the shoes. He said, let's get it to one of these kids that's in here. So I found the picture. It was my friend's son. He was like 5 or 6. And the shoe he picked out, it was funny because it was the shoe I was wearing at the time. This was 2014. Just 7 years ago. So for that story to come back the way it did, you know what I'm saying? And the person that actually threw that show had won my last raffle, which was for $5,000.
Yeah, that was AI, right? Adding influence.
Adding influence, you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
the homie. Yeah.
It's just crazy how everything come back full circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, Adding influence, had he won the raffle I did on my birthday, where I gave away $5,000 on my birthday, because that's what happened with the $5,000 I raised from that $600 stimulus. It was January 4th, and I said, on my birthday, February 16th, I'm gonna give away $5,000, but I want to raise money. So I said, I'm gonna give this to y'all. I need y'all to. I think that raffle might have been a $1 raffle. I don't even know what it was.
It was $1.
And I raised $13,000 because everybody got $1, and people are gonna give you 5, 10, 20. They want multiple entries, and it's cool. So I gave away my 5,000. Raised 13,000. So yeah, I'm personally out of 5,000, but I got $13,000 to help people with. And if I only had 2,000, I still would have took my own money and helped people anyway. So it worked out. And the thing is, had Adding Influence won that raffle in February on my birthday, he would have gave 4,000 of it back. By the time he won it in April, he needed it. Things happen how they supposed to happen. For as many stories as I share online, people don't know that half. I have had people tell me that they thought I was bragging too much and they ain't really like me at first until they follow me and they realize this is second nature. This is a way of life. I am who I say I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people a lot, it's a fine line between honesty and modesty. I know exactly who I am. I know what I mean to this city. I know what I mean to others. I know what I've done. I don't care if I make a list. I know who I can out-rap. I know all that. I don't care if you have an award show and it's for community work and I don't get it. Like, it don't matter. I'm the people's champ. I know this. Like, it's not a matter of arrogance. It's just being honest with myself. Like, Pusha T has a line where he says, I'm a legend in 2 games like Pee Wee Kirkland. I'm known for being one of the best battle rappers and freestylers from here and philanthropists. So that line means so much to me. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, people be like, all right, you toot your horn. Like, my mother think I'm arrogant. It's other people that think I'm humble. It depends on the environment you met me in. I can battle you. I can annihilate you. And the moment I'm done rapping, I'm Maurice again. I ain't even Mo Betta at the moment. Like, I'm like, yeah, but when I said this, I could have said that. This joint could have been better. You know what I'm saying? I'm honest with myself.
Yeah, and we know about your penchant to give away shoes. What was it, like 2 years ago when they did was it 2 years each or 3?
Being outside
I think it was like 3 years.
3 years ago,
smack in my face, but yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. But 3 years ago when they did the Titan Awards at Howard Theater, and Aisha won the shoes that year.
I gave away shoes at Howard Theater.
Yeah,
at the Titan Awards. Young, like, I'm dead serious. Like, I know I gave Sharice Crawford tickets to Wale's concert.
Yeah,
I did not remember giving away shoes.
Yeah. What were they each? They were like some.
I think there's some Patrick Ewins. Like, I gave them to my nephew.
Those was Big G shoes then.
Yeah, Big G shoes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. All right. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, when Big G had his Patrick Ewing collab, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I had won a community award from Backyard Band. My man Rasan works with them. He's the regional manager at Downtown Locker Room. So I was just like, yeah, bro, I want to get these shoes. I want to get more. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I remember the shoe and giving it away. I had no idea who I gave it to.
Yeah,
I had no idea it was that. People be telling me I did stuff, and I swear to you, I be needing a refresher because I do a lot. As far as shoes, there was one time I called up KYS and I was like, I need Angie Ange because she's such a big advocate for education, right? I say, Angie, I want to buy shoes. I had Sports Zone, we collabed. I bought 14 $100 gift cards. They gave me another 6, so I got 20 gift cards for $100. And I said, we gonna give these gift cards to kids that got a 3.5 GPA.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, Shorty the Prince was new to the KYS and they were trying to like promote him.
Okay.
So Shorty came and I said, you know what, that worked. The youngins know him, you know what I'm saying? We was on 106 and Park and all that. So while we were there, I had to do a raffle because it was 28 kids and that I hated I had to make it fair. You know what I'm saying? Because I only got 20 gift cards. And what happened was, you know, there were the 8 kids that were the odd man out. And what happened was, out of curiosity, I wanted to know what their grades were. 5 of them 8 had a 4.0. One of them had a 4.6 or something like that. He had AP classes. And I was like, bro, there's no way. So it happened to be a Friday. It happened to be a payday Friday. So I took $800 from my check that I just got. I said, hey, yo, I need 8 more of these gift cards, Slim. There's no way that these 4.0s don't get rewarded. The 4.6, like, stop. The kid with the 4.6, I think the Yeezy foams that came out, the black joints with the red trim that everybody wanted, that was like $2. I said, you get these. It don't even matter that they cost $250. You have a 4.6. You understand what I'm saying? And I know you don't have to reward people or incentivize them, but my thing is, because I've had that conversation with a lot of people, and I used to feel that way, but I didn't give them shoes based on the report card they were about to try to earn. This is what they already had. They ain't know this was happening. They had already done the right thing just to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So that deserves. So as much as a person that's in need needs help and should get things, good people deserve too. That's why the people that donate to my raffles, I'm like, people that donate and give to causes do so because they can relate.
100%. Yeah.
So if you donate to help somebody with a pass through bill, it's because you've had a pass through bill before. Or if you helping sexually abused kids, you've been abused, you know someone who was abused. You know what I'm saying? Like it resonates, it hits home. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even with the raising money for sexually abused children, God prepped my heart for that so long in advance, and I didn't even realize it, at all. Like, there was a close family member that was abused by a close family member, but Law and Order SVU had become my favorite show. I'm talking about, like, the weekend I'd watch 48 hours straight of the show. And for as sad as it was, it didn't bother me the way it does most people. It did something motivating to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was glad that they caught whoever. And so by the time Santa Claus came about, what happened was the DMV Awards. You remember the fight broke out, right?
Yeah. I was going to ask you how it started, so I'm glad go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what prompted Santa Claus. It necessarily didn't start from I want to help the kids. That became the cause, but the inciting incident was that fight that happened at the DMV Awards, making the news. And I was just like, wow, to the average person watching the news, these local DMV artists, they're animals. The same 2-week span, the Go-Go's were getting closed in DC because too many fights was happening. That made the news.
Shootings too. Fights and shootings. They used to,
then there was a
shooting. To call it shots fired whenever
then there was a shooting at the DC Soundstage off of Bennett Road.
Yeah.
All this happened in 2 weeks, like 2011, I think it was. And I was just like, bro, nah, man. Y'all not talking about Proverb and Will Rap for Food, talking to the kids at school and feeding the homeless, or we not talking about how Common is in Chicago paying for funerals, or how the Game has the Robin Hood Project. We not talking about none of that on the news. We just talking this bad stuff with rap. So I said right then, I'm gonna make the news, and y'all gonna introduce me as a damn rapper. The same way if I robbed a bank right now or I just got caught selling drugs, I wouldn't be the philanthropist. You know, maybe they would call me that now just to make it look bad, but I'd have been a rapper.
Yeah.
So I want to be the rapper for the good stuff. Yeah. You know, I mean, so I didn't know it was gonna take me 5 years to make the news, but eventually I got
You did it though.
But that's what started it. So what happened was Tony Lewis Jr. had a clothing drive for Safe Shores. And I was on the train, so I went to Children's Place and I got like $350 in gift cards. Because my thing was I wanted the money to go to whatever the greatest need was. You don't know what size a child is going to be that comes through the place. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, get what y'all need. So he was like, man, you need a tax receipt. I'm like, bro, look, I ain't worried about that. You know what I'm saying? I deal with the IRS when they come. He was like, nah, but you got to go on the tour and see this place, see where your money going. I'm like, all right, we can do the tour. You go in there, you want to get them people every dollar you ain't even earned yet. Right. Like they got this clothing closet in there, man, a walk-in joint that's crazy. And they do everything on site. Like you will talk to the police there, you could talk to the lawyer, the U.S. attorney. Like it's a one-stop shop. So you don't got to go to it's a medical suite there now. You don't have to go to the hospital, then to the police station, then to the lawyer and keep telling the story over and over. You can say it then. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the things they spend money on is the clothes. They got school supplies and stuff. The ironic thing is people think that Santa Claus is me raising money for Christmas gifts. They actually get sponsored by organizations. So the Christmas wish list be crazy. I'm talking about everything from bikes to PlayStations, right? So Santa Claus is for everything else. So they'll come to your job and train the adults on things to look for and signs. Because a lot of times abuse can stop if we know what we're looking for.
Right.
We just overlook it because just the ignorance of not knowing. So they have different types of therapy. So you got the regular talking to the therapist, but then for some of the younger kids that might not be able to articulate what happens, they have art therapy. So the kids may draw what happened, or they got action figures, play therapy. The kids may act out, reenact what happened. You know what I'm saying? So when I got there, I was like, you know what? This is going to be the flagship. This is what we're going to fundraise for. Only the first year, though. I thought I was going to go from DC, Maryland, Virginia, and keep rotating every year and raise money for different places. But after the first year, we raised $5,000 in 4 months. And I didn't have a goal. I didn't have a plan. I just was going to open mics and asking rappers for money. Or, I had one friend throw a showcase specifically for Santa Claus. And just online, just asking people, you know what I'm saying? And raising $5,000 in 4 months with no real effort, to me, I was like, oh, it's about to be crazy, nigga. Like, I couldn't wait till next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's December 31st, and I'm waiting for September already. You know what I'm saying? So I think after raising that money, I decided to stay with them because people seem to care about the cause. And also, I knew I was going to raise more. I was going to plan it. So to me, it wasn't fair to go to another place and raise more for them and then go to another place and then raise more for them. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed.
Right. Yeah.
And the best idea I ever had was the photo shoot. I called every girl I knew. I said, I'm having an all women's photo shoot. I made it open to everybody, but I didn't tell nobody who I specifically asked. You know what I'm saying? So nobody knew who was coming. I knew it was girls that hadn't seen each other in a while. I knew they was BFFs. They get in there and, you know what I'm saying, it would be a move. So I had radio personalities. I had models. I told them, I said, I'm using y'all because you're attractive, period. This is your donation. You ain't got to give a dime. I'm about to get every guy in the city to donate because these pictures y'all going to post.
Right.
I know what I'm doing. So there was one factor that I didn't factor in, and it worked in my favor so well. I wasn't thinking about the cell phone selfies and behind the scene pictures that was going to happen. I was thinking once I got these professional pictures back, we going to flood the timeline on September 1st at noon. We just going to go crazy, right? Because I'm like, these girls, rappers, models, they got 15, 30, 50,000 followers, radio personalities and such. So I'm getting tagged on Facebook. I don't have my phone. I'm going back and forth to the door to let people in because we was at Catwalk and it was locked. It was raining and the girls showed up anyway. I mean, it was thunderstorming, crazy, right? Yeah. So by the time I got to my phone, I'm tagged in 75 pictures on Facebook. So every guy that I know has texted my phone. Yeah, Mo, where are you at and why I ain't invited? Right. I see so-and-so there and so-and-so there. And, hey, young, I always wanted to get at shorty. She bad. Mo, I'm not your man, Mo. You know what I'm saying? So it spread a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then the next year, I kind of made it a networking event, but this one was for guys. Right. So I had the rest in peace. I had the Tony Reds. I had Big G. I had Killer Cow and Reverend Tony Lee. And when the artists came in, I had their music playing, and I paid someone to cater the event. So I got string beans and meatballs and macaroni. It's a movie, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And even with that, that was giving, because the girl that catered the event, someone informed me that she got injured. She was a Metro driver, and she got injured and she couldn't work. So she had a side hustle where, you know, she cooked and she catered and everything. And my folks was like, but Mo, she's not gonna be able to do her business because her phone's off. I was like, can you find out what carrier she got? You know, like, I'll just call and pay. She ain't gotta know what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
but we weren't able to do that. So I DM'd her and I told her, I say, look, please don't be mad at so-and-so. She told me about your situation because she knew I could help, right? And her phone bill was like $500. So I said, look, this is what we're gonna do. I know you want to work for it. I know you're not gonna take this money. I got this photo shoot coming up. It's gonna be like anywhere from 100. I invited 200 people. I think I ended up with 85 or whatever. I said, how much is it gonna be to cater this? She gave me the price. And what was funny, I seen an episode of In the House, LL Cool J and Debbie Allen back in the day, right? And on the episode, she needed money, but she didn't want to ask her ex for it. So she got a pizza delivery job on the side. So he bought the pizza. He gave her $300. She was like, the pizza's only $20. He was like, yeah, it's $20 for the pizza. The other $280 for the tip.
Yeah.
That's what I did with Shorty.
Okay, yeah.
Because the catering wasn't $500. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can't turn down the tip. The tip is the tip. Like, you earned it. You know what I'm saying? So I find fun ways to, you know what I'm saying? Like, giving ain't, it don't have to be this taboo. We don't want to talk about, you're not supposed to talk about who you helped. I hate that. I hate that shit. Like, I really, like, I get mad. Like, I'm about to cuss now. Like, I really hate that shit, bro. Like,
all right, you can curse me. You
nah,
good.
I know, but like, I wasn't even, like, I don't even often, like, I be chilling, but like, it pisses me off, like, seriously, because we talk about anonymous giving, right? People act like it ain't genuine if you know it happened. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, how you gonna tell somebody they're not genuine? They still gave up what they gave up. They made a sacrifice. They didn't have to do that. Like, now I'm not gonna go feed the homeless and make videos of it or take a picture of somebody down bad, or, you know what I'm saying? But for one, I'm fundraising for an organization that needs attention. If I donate to the Covenant House, I'm going to tell you what I donated, because it's not to say I gave 500. That makes your $5 look inadequate. That wasn't my point. My thing was, if you gave 5, I gave 500. I want you to consider giving 50 if you could. Be like, you know what? He gave $500. I got 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little of the positive peer pressure. Now, if I'm helping you, my man, and I'm helping you pay your car note, nobody's gonna ever know.
Right. Yeah.
If my sister needs help with her rent, ain't nobody gonna know that. Y'all don't even know her. Like, what am I gonna say that for? You know what I'm saying? Like, my cousin just came home the other day from jail. I gave him some bread. I'm not gonna talk about what I gave him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just glad I had it to give. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain things, I feel like family and friends, that's your anonymous. You know what I'm saying? But don't say I'm not genuine if I have it and I just wrote a check to Martha's Table for $1,000 and I told you I did it. I'm not genuine because of that.
You've heard people say that, though? You've heard people say that?
Not about me. Not about me. The thing is, anything somebody says about me, they don't say to me, man. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I've had one person that didn't like the fact that I was doing the raffles, though. Like, Mo, you don't have to give people stuff. I said, but Slim, if it serves the greater purpose, the greater cause, it works.
Brilliant, man. That was brilliant. That incentive. Yeah.
But it's not even just the incentive. Like I said, I really want to help them too. Because again, like I said, the people that are giving might not have it either. They shooting they shot with their very last dollar. And because they were willing to give their last, they deserve to have something nice too. Them good people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my logic.
Yeah.
But, you know, Jay-Z messed everybody's head up when he said the purest form of giving is anonymous to anonymous. I'm like, maybe.
You know, he said that on in response to, what was it, Harry Belafonte had jumped out there about some stuff. So, yeah.
But maybe it is the purest form. But he didn't say it was the only form.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
do both. Believe it or not, I used to be the most anonymous giving person in the world, but somehow, some way, I made myself the face of philanthropy. So I had to continue. And I feel like, I'm sorry, this rabbit keep running past it. Like, my backyard is like, the animals love it, man. Like,
You
and the
got
joint,
rabbits out there, man.
bro, the joint's so bold and domesticated. Like, it gets so close to me and just be looking. Then it's like a beaver or something. Like, it's animals back here, bro. I mean, if you seen how close this rabbit is right now, looking right at me, like, this is really like hilarious, bro. Like,
Rabbit stew.
Look.
Rabbit stew.
It's right there.
Oh
It's
yeah,
right there, right in the field.
Peter Cottontail ain't thinking about me.
Hey, but look, let me ask you real quick about family, man, because how old are your kids now, if you don't mind me asking?
The stepson is 16.
And so how important is it to you that that you set that example of giving and build that culture in his life, to that he will possibly carry it on, or at least see what you do and understand these things that we're supposed to do in our communities as men and as people, as parts of the community.
Remember when Jay-Z said, if I'd have grew up to be a doctor, my nephews would have grew up to be the same?
Yeah.
Same thing. He makes beats because I rap. He told me one day he's going to be a bigger philanthropist than me. I told him, I said, hey, look, I'm competitive. I like this type of competition. I said, but you got some work ahead of you, homeboy. I was like, a lot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, he wanted to change his gamer tag on a PlayStation to something either dealing with producing, or he wanted it to flat out say philanthropist. Like, he takes pride in explaining to his new friends what the word means and asking them if they know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so man, my mother from South Carolina, bro. Family different for me.
Right.
Down there it's God, family, education. Maybe God, education, family, but family one of them. You know what I'm saying? So again, my mother is very religious. She was a teacher at part-time. While she was in school, she taught English, which is probably why I'm good at rap, right? She don't want no credit for it, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I'm so sick. Like, my cousin earlier was over here because something happened in my bathroom, and now I have to tear the whole wall out and spend all it. And it's crazy because I just had a whole lot of money, and now I don't have none, and now I need help. But I'm gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? But so my cousin was here, and he was talking, and he was just cursing up a storm. I was like, bruh, the kid in the room, man, that little nigga 16. Hey, bro, you don't do that at my house. And this my older cousin, right? He was like, man, you tripping, you doing too much. You think he don't hear it in the music and all that? I said, I tried my best to shield the music. I know he still listens to it. I know kids, they's on the video game. The kids in his ear on when he go live, they playing music. I'm aware, but I said, it's one thing to know something exists, and it's another thing to see your parent do it, because that's condoning. You know what I'm saying? Like, yesterday, they went to the store. He bought some books for himself because his mother got like a challenge. She gonna give him whatever amount of money he reads these books. I told him, I said, I'm all for that. He said, man, I'm about to make y'all broke. I said, bro, I will happily be broke. You gonna read some books, right? So one of the books he bought is based on the movie The Hate You Give, and I was just like, nah, you can't read this one though, because it's just the review of the book I read is too much vulgarity and sexual content and all that. You know what I'm saying? And even though he's 16, and a lot of people tell me, like, Mo, you ain't got to do all that. I'm like, Slim, I am how my mother raised me, and I feel like I turned out all right. So that's how I'm gonna raise mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's heard me in 7 years. He's heard me curse 7 times, and I'm pissed about every time. Every single time. I called my wife on a FaceTime the other day. I didn't know he was in our room, right? And I think it was just windy, and I was like, man, it's windy as shit out here. And then I was mad because I heard him in the room, and I was like, I ain't even have to cuss. It was unnecessary. I was like, I could have just said it's windy out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm mad. So, and I texted her as soon as I got off, and she was like, don't beat yourself up over it, because even though he heard you curse, he also heard you Like, I was like, oh my God, it's DJ in the room. I'm sorry. Even though I whispered that to her, he heard that.
Yeah.
He knows that you know what I'm saying? Like, I will apologize when I'm wrong. Yeah, like the few times that he's heard me do it, like you should have seen how bad I was in myself. Like, I don't think I beat myself up like that in my adult life over anything else. Like, I get mad when I'm on a train and kids curse around older people, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll carry it like it's a pastor around at all times, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, when kids is watching, I'm just a different person, man. Like, it don't even have to be mine. It can be anybody's. Like, I might check you around your child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, bro, really? Like, you in front of the, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, because I remember once being at a car at night or something one of my friends was having. You know what I'm saying? And they were drinking and doing what they was doing. And, you know, you tell the kids to stay upstairs, but kids gonna get bored. They gonna come downstairs. And that's what happened. And I was just like, young, I don't like this, young. Like, I really don't. I was like, I ain't gonna be able to come to the next one. And like, they were really offended, but I'm just like, look, man, my morals is my morals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to argue with my sister because she played, you know, PGCKY in the car. And I'm just like, young, the kids, bro. And she's like, man, they know not to cuss. I said, it don't matter. The radio station barely bleeps the words out these days. And I'm just like, you know, her argument is she's grown. I'm like, yeah, they not. So yeah, I don't play about kids, man. Family different, man. Like, me and the wife don't argue, but if we did, he wouldn't see it.
Right.
I'm real particular about what goes on. But no, he wants to throw his own charity event. He's the type that if he has lunch and one of his classmates don't have lunch money, he's gonna get him something out of his bag. He that kid. He really that kid.
That's dope. Yeah. So you mentioned your wife too. You know, the legendary story of you proposing to her at the battle. Like, that's one of the dopest things, man. That's one of the something that really put you on my radar. That's when I really started paying attention to Mo Betta, when that video was like first came out and it was like on everybody's social media. I'm like, this dude really in the middle of the battle proposed to his wife. How long have y'all been married now?
4 years.
4 years? Okay. 4 years in, right? Like, if you was talking to somebody who was just about to do it or just got married, what advice would you give them from your 4 years of knowledge of marriage?
I'm not sure you can give it. I don't feel like people can give marriage advice, man. Like, 'cause I completely disregarded everything everybody told me. Like, I knew I found the one. You just gotta know that you found the one. You know what I'm saying? If you found the one, like, all the arguments, because I remember talking to Black Bull and Sherelle after, you know, their Forever Dunkin' situation. And you know, they were arguing before they were married. Like, it works for, like, they got it. They're both strong-willed, but I'm like, so am I. Like, I never understood how people can get married that were arguing before they got married. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Like, it, to me, like, most things, it just ain't that serious. Like, there was a time once we were supposed to be going to Baltimore for some event I wanted to go to. And she came home and she told me she was getting ready to go to a dinner with her friends or whatever. She forgot about the event that I had talked about like 4 days earlier, right? I never mentioned it. She's to this day don't know, and this was 3 years ago. She's to this day don't know that we didn't go to that event that she said we was going to. It wasn't that serious. It was something I wanted to go to, but it wasn't nothing I wasn't speaking at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, it wasn't mandated. So some things you just you know, you let it slide. Or, like, at the end of the day, I know I ain't going to sleep mad at nobody. I don't want that negative energy and all that. So it's like, argue for, but most of the time, like, there's really nothing to disagree about. In 4 years, we've recently had our first, like, disagreement, and it was over something. It ain't even it's no beef with either of us. It's a timetable. Like, she's ready to move on something. I want to do it too, but I'm just not. It's not as urgent to me. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't nothing to. Ain't nobody about to scream. You know what I'm saying? We just it's a disagreement. I mean, I'm keeping 1,000. It's about the house, right? And as I told you, something went wrong today. So this house was left to my family, or left to me. My grandmother, my father died. It was in her will when he was still alive for me. And I actually never wanted to live here, ever. But I didn't realize how much it had got ran down because my father was sick. And I never really came down here because I lived up the street. And he always came to my grandmother's house. So I really had no reason to come down here. And, you know, like, I've had to fix the roof and all kinds of stuff, right? So, you know, she wants a new house, and it's cool. I get it. So my thing is, we got to work on credit and saving money to be able to do that. So while you're working on the credit, I'm gonna do this, saving money and whatever. But what I had to tell her, and I had to make sure she understood, and I had to be a little firm and stern about it, was you're putting pressure on me by mentioning it more than once. You mentioned it. I said, I got it. I want to move too. Don't mention it again until we're further along the process. She mentioned it again because something went wrong. And then what happened, I think 1 month, 8 of our friends bought houses. So that didn't help at all, right? I was like, oh, damn, man, it's about to go down, right? So she brought up the conversation. And what I had to tell her was, there's some things about me you just don't know. She hears stories from some of my friends or my family members when they come around, and she look at me like, you used to do that? Like I told you, I used to sell drugs, right? We ain't grow up the same. Let me just say that. Yeah. So I told her, I said, I don't think it's fair to me because I know the person that I am. Knowing how much it's bothering you to be here and deal with the problems or whatever have you, I'd go make it happen. And I'd make it happen real quick. But I promised myself things I'd never do again when I married you and took the kid in. Right. So because I'd never do that, like, I'm left with other options. It's like, okay, the casino can happen gradually. Like, I know how much, like, I've always said this, when a person's selling something, so the charity, your business, anything, people buy into the person just as much as the product. Right. So even if I'm selling drugs, I can do that just as well as I can fundraise. They're buying into me. You understand what I'm saying? So she understood. Yeah. She definitely understood, you know what I'm saying? But that, it just, to some degree, I feel it was my fault because I didn't say that the first time. I didn't say, hey, I'm the type that I'll feel pressure. I feel like I got to be a man and make this happen immediately. And if you keep bringing this up, then this could happen. So in that regard, I couldn't be mad the second and third time she brought it up because I'm like, I never explained that to her. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like now after explaining it, she gets it. So I feel like that's the one thing, maybe the advice you can have is always have open lines of communication. And that's in any relationship, friendship. Because
communication is the key, definitely.
You never know. You never know the mood a person's in, or you can't assume that they know something. You know what I'm saying? So communication, I guess, would be my advice.
Yeah. Spend the rest of your life with somebody. You must be prepared to look into a mirror, an image of yourself. And sometimes when you don't have the strength in your shoulder to your chin to lift your head up, that person does it for you. And sometimes it's not so pleasing. When you say to me that when you express, you know, to her, oh, wow, I can go hustle and get the money. If my daughter were in that position, because I got 3 of them, you did, and a little boy, and her man said that to her, the man in me gonna come at him the same way, like, you know, when they go ahead and go do that, but that doesn't make you a man. Right. I said this respectfully because when you say you don't, and you have the audacity and the wherewithal within yourself to share with somebody how you truly feel, and you're not trying to threaten them, but you're putting them on notice. Like I tell my wife all the time, you know, like don't poke the bear, and that doesn't mean I will never bring her any harm. But like, ultimately, if we express X, Y, Z, and you express X, Y, Z, where are we going? Because if it's not progressive, if we're not moving forward, then we're obviously detrimental to us. In that fight, I don't want to fight with you. That's that. If I'm fighting with you, that image I spoke of earlier, myself, I'm fighting with myself. My wife tell me all the time, my flaws, in the sense of get your fat ass something. Let's move around. Let's do something. You know what I mean? She want me to be what I used to be when I was a long time ago. Ultimately, she's right though. And she shows me who I am and what I am, and she shows me that I'm worth it. That's why I'm grateful. You say, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, just talking, like, for example, I could have washed the dishes every day this week, right? And just one day I'm tired, I got a headache or something, and it's just like, all right, somebody else is gonna see that the dishes need to be done and it's full. And this is me assuming that they just gonna do it because they see me feeling away. But I'm not realizing that the kid's been in school all day. He got 2 projects due, so he don't have the time. I don't know that though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that after she's off the clock, she builds websites, so she's doing her side business. I don't know that she got a deadline to finish that joint by midnight. You know what I'm saying? So when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, the dish is still there. I'm like, I can't believe nobody ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the communication is lacking,
Yeah.
because I easily could have said, hey, look, I ain't feeling good. I'm gonna need one of y'all to look out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right,
it's
right.
on everybody to just communicate.
Yeah, that communication is important, and like you said, no, give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't assume that they know. Talking. So that communication is huge. I was trying to think of the Big Sean line. It was something like a big disagreement can be solved with a little conversation. Like that little communication can end a lot. But speaking of rappers, I want to talk to you a little bit about rap. Because that's how this whole thing started, man. That's how you came into this thing, man. So, looking at the landscape of DC right now. Well, first of all, we got to do a top 5. Just because you are who you are, who's your top 5 MCs of all time?
Industry.
Yeah, industry. Yeah.
Tupac, passion. Jay-Z, wordplay. Eminem, rhyme scheme. Scarface, believability. Biggie, storytelling and humor.
Okay. That's a strong 5. That's a strong 5. And now, so when you look at music, like you said earlier in the interview, you haven't really listened to hip hop since the 2009 class, and I feel that so much. It's not been much out there, but is there anything that you see, these days? Is there anybody that you look at and be like, okay, that might be one of the ones?
I don't know none of these niggas. I'm dead serious, man. Like, I know that Corday attempts to rap like a time before his time, but
Yeah.
I haven't listened to him for like, I've seen him in a cypher or two, the BET Hip Hop Awards, maybe. You know what I'm saying? And I see the attempt at lyricism, but honestly, like, I'm talking about the class that Wale was in. Like, I really don't know a rapper past then. I really
Right.
don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man.
even to be honest about him, I may have never listened to him if he wasn't from here.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I think he's lyrical, but I may not have gotten into him if he was from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Him being from here made me listen. And because of him and names he was shouting out, then I checked out his class. So I listened to the Coles and Sean's because he mentioned them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But other than that, man, I'm like the best 90s YouTube DJ in the world, man. Like, I gets it in. I guess it. I can put together a playlist for that. I'm telling you.
Right. So who's in your playlist right now? Like, who are you listening to regularly right now?
As I got older, it changed. Like I said, it was Pac when I was younger, just because of the passion. Before I ever rapped, the first rap verse I knew was his verse on Trading War Stories on All Eyes on Me. Like, I rapped.
Oh man, that's the
I
thing.
rapped the verse as if I wrote it.
Yeah.
I've always liked AZ, so every now and again I revisit Nine Lives. I listen to a lot of Scarface as I'm older. Like, I don't have to have because a lot of people haven't been giving me the wordplay and the lyricism, you know what I'm saying? So I'll still listen to whatever Jay-Z, Scarface, And as I got older, I started listening to Pusha T more. Like I loved the clips when they came out, and Malice was the one.
Yeah.
But since he stopped rapping, like Pusha, I don't know. Like I grew up in New Carrollton, so like we was blessed. Like my mother lived nice. It wasn't all this stress, but I also lived in Capitol Heights before. Even right here in Temple Hills, I'm like a block away from Southeast. So I you know what I'm saying? Like around the time when Paid in Full came out, I was living with cousins that was really living their life. My little cousins, older cousins had big dirt bikes. They was making so much money, hustling and doing what they was doing. Like the story damn near seemed like it was about my house.
Right.
Like it really, you know what I'm saying? And then what was funny was it's 2003. I'm 21 years old. My little cousin was 17, but he was selling PCP on a drug strip, like open air situation, right? He was making $1,500 a night. I was working for a temp agency, making $236 a week. That wasn't sitting right with my soul.
Okay.
He's making $1,500 a night. This is my little cousin. $1,500 a night. I'm making $236 a week. This wasn't going. This is what happens when you're trying to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in the midst of the hustling, even with the drugs, I started selling CDs, bootleg CDs. You know, just industry albums or whatever have you. But everything I do different. I wasn't selling the album that just came out. For one, I had all these albums. Like I had the real CDs. So it wasn't like I was downloading online where I was just burning them. I copying my own CDs. So the way I had my book in alphabetical order. So I'm selling you CDs for $1, but I'm selling you Reasonable Doubt. I'm selling you All Eyes on Me. I'm selling you Life After Death or The Fix by Scarface. You know what I'm saying? So you will open a book for $10, you buying 10 Jay-Z albums. Scarface whole catalog. So people aren't just buying one CD. You know what I'm saying? They buying 10, 15, 20. How much for the whole book? I'm making copies of the book. I'm selling for $75. It's 150 CDs, and they now 50 cents. It don't even matter because it's all a profit. Because what I did was at the time, Circuit City was still open. So they sold a spindle of 100 for like $15, right? So you can make $85. It's good. It's just like selling bottles of water. It's a bigger profit margin than you realize.
Right. Yeah.
So what happened was I'm Googling. I'm on page like 75 on Google. I have to find the absolute best price. I found a place where I could order 2,000 bootlegs, blank CDs for $350. I said, oh, it's on. I just want you to know, selling CDs for $1, it doesn't take very long to sell 2,000. It really doesn't. That year, I made $33,000. I had $33,000 in my bedroom. Shoebox, I had it inside the inner lining pocket of the church blazer, all that. I just got money all over the place.
Wow.
Cousin's wife is taking off for work to burn CDs and write on CDs for me because she's using leave and getting paid from her job, but I'm paying her too because I hated writing. I didn't want to write. I'm like, I'm gonna burn the CDs. I'm not writing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm making people in the house money. My other cousin would stop selling weed to sell CDs. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm giving them like 150 CDs for $35. Here, these just came out. Everybody gonna jump. You know what I'm saying? So I'm making a lot of money selling CDs, and what happened was, this is a funny story. So there was a guy that was selling CDs around the way, and he was still selling them for $5. Everybody else done went down to like $3, $2. You know what I'm saying? I'm selling them for $1. So I go to him. My whole idea was to find the people that sold CDs and wholesale them to them. I didn't want to stand outside. You know what I'm saying? So this guy looked at me, man, you young niggas always think y'all know something. Y'all think y'all smart. I looked at him like, damn, bro, I'm trying to put you on. You ain't got to waste time burning them or nothing. Like, I'm just going to give you the CDs and give you this. Like, I was going to give him like 100 CDs for $35. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So he carried me. So I looked at him. I hit him with the Denzel. I was like, my man. Walked off, right? It didn't. As I'm walking, I turned around. I was like, oh, by the way, you won't make another dollar this summer. And I meant that shit, right? So I went to the drug dealers on that strip. I gave all of them CDs. I said, listen, after this week, y'all can sell them. If you want to get them from me, you can sell them for whatever the hell you want. But for this week, they are $1. Sell these CDs for $1 because I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? I have a job, so I can't. So they did it. And for that week, you know what I'm saying? And then after a while, that dude stopped coming around. That guy disappeared for like 2 years. He didn't come back until I stopped. And, you know, I looked out for them drug dealers. I gave them bread or whatever on top of, you know what I'm saying, whatever, just because of what they helped me do. So some years later, that guy's back around. I don't sell CDs no more. My father buys movies from that same guy I had put out of business. So I get off the bus from work. I'm in Popeyes. I come out of Popeyes. My father's sitting there in the car. I was like, bet, I got to ride around the way. I don't got to walk. He's waiting on my grandmother to come out of the dollar store. I get in the back of the car. My father's already placed the order with this movie guy. He comes, he sees me in the back seat with the window down, walks right past the vehicle. My father beeping the horn. Hey, I'm right here. I'm right here. Cuz was like, nah. My father like, nah. Beat the horn. Hey, you ain't got to give me the movie, but you got my money. You know what I'm saying? Right, so the guy came back. He gave my father the money, stepped off, ain't say nothing to him. I was like, oh, shit. I know this nigga's about to ask me why he did this shit, right? So he was like, what you do? I was like, what I do to who? What you talking about? Why that dude ain't one look you in the eye? What happened? Like, I was like, bro, I don't know what you talking about, right? So one of my guys walked past the store. My father called him over to the car. Hey, what did Maurice do to the dude that be selling the movies? Oh, what? You don't know? Oh, he ran him off the block. He made it seem like I pulled the gun on cuz or something. Right, like, I ain't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, you know, he told him what happened. But, yeah, my father just laughed. He was like, yeah, I instilled way too much hustle in you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I was gonna ask you because, you know, it's another picture that emerges from those stories. And that's the idea of financial literacy and how important that was in developing you into you know, the person you are with philanthropy, with your generosity and things.
My mother wouldn't let me spend nothing. That's that. My father, if I was with him, he bought whatever. My mother would not let me buy a damn thing. It didn't matter how much money I had. And she knew I had money at times. Like, not when from the roofing, but it was other time my mother knew I had money. Like, the only time she would let me spend something is my mother used to love to go shopping Saturday mornings. Like, my mother doesn't expensive shop, though. Like, she'll go to thrift stores, or back then it was Value City, and she'd go all the way to, like, Glen Burnie to where the good one was. And we'd be in this mall, and, like, I'd start bugging her because I'm standing next to her for an hour because my mother's so indecisive. She put all like 20 items in the cart, but only buy 2, right? So I'm tired of being around. I'm like, Mom,
that's called women shopping. That's what they do.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, this too much. Like, so my mother started trusting me at a real young age to go, like, I'd go to KB Toy Store in the mall just to go look at something, not to buy it. You know what I'm saying? But just to go, like, she trusts me. It's like, all right, be back here at 2:30. This is before cell phones, you know what I'm saying? So the only time she would let me buy like a pack of 2 of trading cards. That's all I could buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause she knew it cost $2-3. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wouldn't let me buy nothing though. But yeah, like it came from not being able to. Like, my stepson just bought his mother some stuff yesterday for Mother's Day.
Right.
And he was like, I did a good job of saving. I said, I did a good job of saving your money. You know what I'm saying? Because if you let a kid, you know, they'll buy $1 billion a year in chips from 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like it came from, and then watching my mother retired at like 42.
Oh, wow.
And has not worked since then, and she still maintains the upkeep of her house. Like, look, I gave my mother $200 last weekend. She called me over to, she had a tree cut down. So, you know, I'm breaking up twigs and all types of stuff. And she's like, how you giving me money? And I got you coming over. You just keep coming over here doing this type of stuff. Right, and I was like, nah, Mom. And I'm messing with her. I said, somebody told me when people bless you, you're supposed to bless others. So she couldn't say nothing because she knew. You know what I'm saying?
Who said it, right.
She knew who said it, right? So, but that day, the day before that, I had won $10,000 on the slot machine.
Oh, wow.
And the only reason I only gave her 200 is because I knew she wasn't even going to try to accept that. So, like, she told me no 4 times. I actually, and I had to apologize to her later. I threw it on the floor. Like, and I walked outside. Like, she opened the door. I never walked in the house. I went straight to the backyard, started working. I threw it in the door. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, after my wife left, she came and she asked me, she came outside bugging me. So, all right, what is this about? Like, I'm really all right. I think she thinks that I was treating her like a charity case because she doesn't work and she thinks that I think that she's broke. I know she's not. My mother's 65. You haven't worked in 23 years. I know you're not broke. You know, I know your income's probably fixed, but I told her, I said, Mom, Mother's Day's coming up.
Yeah.
You know, every kid wishes they could buy their parent a house and all that when they grow up. I'm like, Mom, I'm not buying you a house, $200, bro. Like,
right, yeah, it's just something
like,
small, right?
get
Yeah,
some groceries. I don't do what you want. Keep it. I
right.
don't really care. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm the way I am.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
ain't
I can
asking
see that.
nobody for nothing. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that thread of the financial literacy. That's what you know, stood out to me about those stories about you just having that understanding of money, something that that
See, the
we miss
thing,
out on a lot.
the reason I still have money a lot of times or in those stories is because I don't want anything. I'm not a real big on I have desire type person. Like, I feel bad for my wife when birthdays and Christmas, like, she don't know what to get. I don't know what to
Right,
tell her
right,
to get.
right.
Like, even for Mother's Day, like, I had to ask her, I'm like, yo, I'm not the, oh, you so sweet, this is all the count type. Because you buy people something that you thought, and then they don't use it, and it's be there. Like, you will tell me what you want. Like,
Right, yeah,
period.
right, yeah.
So,
I'm like that
like,
too.
she really had to think about it for hours. And what ended up happening was she wanted her ring resized.
Mm,
Like,
yeah,
I mean, I would have never thought of that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like, I don't know that it didn't fit. So,
yeah. That's you know, but just something that we all need, and it seems like you are proficient in it, and so obviously, you know, you make sure your family, like your stepson and things, that they have it instilled in them. You know, and that's a blessing, man. Like you said, it puts you in a position where you'll never really be, you know, without.
right.
So yeah, yeah, that's a good thing. So I do want to talk to you. You mentioned in the beginning a little bit about being retired. So it's no more Mo Betta music. Like it's no more well, and then you said you never actually put out a project. So
That ain't what I retired from.
oh okay. Oh, you retired from battling?
That ain't what I retired from either. I may rap. I might put out a video of a 16 tomorrow if I feel like rapping.
Stamp, stamp. Yeah, no, you gotta do that Red Man joint, like I said, that 80 bars, man.
Yeah, I'm an 80 bar type person. Yeah, I'm one of them.
Exactly. That's why I said that. I know you can do it.
I'm
You
real
know.
Joe, but I'm real Joe Buttonish.
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
No, I guess we haven't addressed this, have we? Yeah, the Help DMV program's done, and I think I might be done with Santa Claus as well. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
That's why the email says it the way it is. The header of the email is basically saying tired, and me responding to it says tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was little wordplay with it, but
Right, right.
So Santa Claus was 10 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Help
10 years.
Over $100,000 raised.
Wow.
Help DMV has been 3 years. But the thing is, I normally do Help DMV from like February to May or June.
Right.
And then, you rest for a while and start Santa Claus in August or September. But what happened was I ended Santa Claus on December 31st. And then I started fundraising for Help DMV on January 4th. I didn't give myself a break.
Right, right.
And between deciphering whether people are lying and scamming and trying to finesse and just fundraising all day, every day for 4 months straight, it's tiring. I mean, there's some things that I thought other people would help with the fundraising by sharing it or I remember asking people to tag a friend.
Right.
I'm like, for a few reasons. For one, they bring more attention to the program, but also give your friend a chance to win as well. Or I'm doing a 50-50 raffle, so the bigger the pot, the bigger amount one of you guys win. So why would you not want to tag them? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, people act like I was asking them to give me their first daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
yeah.
And just again, I get so consumed with whatever I do. Like, I'd be asleep and wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I got an idea for a flyer.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't live like I gotta focus on myself a little bit, man. Like,
okay.
I've done a lot. People never believe me when I say I'm retired, because I retired 3 years ago from Santa Claus and clearly came back and did 3 more years. But what happened with that was divine intervention almost, man. Like, I went to a breakfast that Safe Shores has it's like a fundraising, a pledging type breakfast, and I looked around the room. It was like 30 people that I knew from the DMV that were there. When I first went to that breakfast, there was none.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, but that made me feel good about stepping away. I'm like, I got everybody hip. They know about it. They can carry it on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, that wasn't a bad thing. Then the next thing that happened, and these 3 things happened 3 days in a row. Wale has shared something on Twitter about a white guy that had got 3 months of house arrest after raping a 5-year-old girl.
Right. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Now he shared that not so much for the rape situation, but to show the disparity in sentencing, because Meek Mill had just got time for popping a willie.
Right.
But I saw it for what I saw it for.
Right.
Then the third day, the worst day, my stepson's teacher from the previous school year, Fox 5 had posted this guy had molested an 8th grade girl.
Oh, wow.
I spoke to that man's class about this subject. I shook that man's hand. So when I seen his picture on my timeline, my body physically shook.
Wow.
8 seconds later, I made a post, and it was just basically a video of Jordan saying I'm back.
Yeah.
Because those 3 things in a row like that, it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
you felt like they were speaking to your spirit, like get back in there. Yeah, definitely, man. So it's we're gonna about to wrap up, but it's 2 questions I always ask everybody that comes on. And I want to ask you the questions too. I always like the answers that I get a certain perspective. And the first one is, if you had an opportunity to get in a time machine and go back in time and speak to a young Mo Betta, if you had the opportunity to talk to, let's say, a 12-year-old Mo Betta, knowing through everything you've been through, all the wisdom you've gained throughout the years, what would that conversation be like? What would you tell him?
When you get in middle school, behave yourself, because that's where it went wrong.
Okay.
Because in elementary school they walk you to your next class, right?
Yeah.
In middle school, y'all go in a line, but y'all together. The teacher like watch you go down the hall. Like once I started getting freedom, like I was acting up. Like the grades stayed the same, the behavior changed. Like I just got bad, and people used to attribute it to my parents being divorced and my father not being but I'm like, that happened when I was 9. I was still good at 10, 11, and 12. You know what I'm saying? But around 13, 12 going into 13, like I don't know if I didn't care, because I tell people, like, don't ever say that, because that I don't care mood push you in a real dangerous place. Definitely. And it takes a lot of time to fix and undo what happens in that I don't care time. Right. So, so just to care and behave, because with the grades I had and the level of intelligence I had, I easily could have had a scholarship. I mean, they wanted me to skip half elementary school. Right. I easily could have had a scholarship to whatever college. And, I could have had a different paying job and been able to give back more, because giving back was always, and it was going to happen regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to say that, if I had this high paying job and I became something else, I'd have been living in a different place and I wouldn't have gave back, because I wouldn't have been around and amongst the people but I realized later that wasn't true. It was going to happen.
It's more about what's in your spirit.
I'm who I am. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what it would be, just to behave.
Yeah, that's good advice. And the second question is, like, I know you've been in a lot of ciphers, you've been on a lot of stages, and you had a lot of people looking at you throughout the course of your music career, throughout the course of your philanthropy. When people look at Mo Betta, when people see you, what is it that you hope that they see?
Genuine. If that don't exude from my personality, like I don't know what else. Like, I guess the G's, the generous, genuine, you know what I'm saying? Like, I personally feel like I'm the realest person living. I really feel that way. Like I told you, I don't mince words when it comes to myself. Like I really I'm honest with myself, man. Like I know who I am and what I am.
Right.
It's ironic, like when Nipsey died, so many people compared me to him because, you know, he gave back to the community.
Right.
And rap and all that. And it was funny to me because like my label mates is all Crips. So it really was hilarious to me.
Right,
but
right.
Yeah, man, just genuine and generous.
Right.
Like I often think about, like, if I died at a young age, I'd be wondering, I'm like, yeah, how many people would be there?
Right.
Pre-COVID. Like how many people would be at the funeral?
Right.
I mean, like, but not like my mother always told me to live my life in a manner that people wouldn't even believe a lie about you. Like if somebody told you they seen me smoking and drinking, if you know me, you know they was mistaken. It was mistaken identity, or hey, maybe it was cold outside and that was frost coming out his mouth. It wasn't what it appeared to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, like just that. Like you know how they say people be lying about people at their funeral, like, oh, this was good, man. I want whatever you would say at somebody's funeral or say at mine, I want that to be the absolute truth.
Yeah.
So I try to live my life in that manner.
Definitely, man. Well, you exuded definitely. Like I said, and I'm gonna try to hurry up and wrap it up. I'm getting text messages from my co-host, and I'm seeing a message too coming up that the connection. I guess there's something going on with Zoom. The connection is unstable. So, but yeah, man. I just want to thank you for, like I said, man. The proposing to your wife thing was how I first heard your name, but then finding out who you are and then seeing you at events and stuff. Like what you say about the genuineness, I definitely see it. That's why, you know, I always try to reach out to you, you know, when we're doing shows and stuff. I appreciate everything, man, and everything you do on behalf of everybody that you've done stuff for. I just want to say thank you. I know you don't do it to hear it, but I feel like everybody should hear it at some point. And I definitely, you know, you one of those dudes, man. You know, like I said, I want people to get their flowers, and you deserve as many as anybody ever got, man. So thank you so much for coming through the Neighborish livecast. This has been another episode. I'm Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, on behalf of myself and my crew, Aisha, Patrice, and Mike, and the illustrious Mo Betta. Man, thank y'all for checking out another episode. We'll be back next week with more information, more entertainment, more interviews, and more fun. Y'all have a great week. Take care of yourselves and each other. Hey, Mo, thanks, man. Peace.
Appreciate it.